Welcome to the Eversio Experience podcast. I'm Brandi Garden, the co-founder here at Eversio Wellness, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician.
Mushrooms are symbols of interconnectedness, and we're so excited to connect you with the health, wellness, and wisdom that they have brought us on our journey to this moment. We believe mushrooms are critical to the maintenance of our physical well-being and our collective mental health.
Yes, our ancestors had deep cultural connections to mushrooms, but today they remain understudied, undervalued, and often misunderstood by much of modern society, and we are here to change that. Eversio means change, and it's our mission to change lives through fungi.
There's a mushroom for every moment.
And we're so glad that you're here to share this moment with us. And now, let's dive into the episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Eversio Experience podcast, co-hosted by Brandi Garden, the co-founder of Eversio Wellness, and myself, Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician. Today's episode is all about New Year hype versus real alignment, because we're recording this in early January, and that's a big theme that's going on right now, right? Is resolutions, picking a word, the start of a new year, and it's kind of like a fresh slate if you want to think about it that way. So there's a bunch of different perspectives. So we're going to do something different. New Year hype versus real alignment.
I love this. It's so much pressure. It's so much pressure for people. I'm listening to all my friends set these big, massive goals. And I think today we're going to talk about how we need to think about things less as a goal and more as a process, as a system that you want. And I love where our conversation will go on this, because I know we feel the same way. A new year is not a reset button. It is something really different. So, okay, let me start by saying that when we say it's not a reset button, I mean it's not a reset button for your nervous system, because that's really what we talk about in January so much. That's what we should be talking about. And it makes me think of those moments when you feel tempted to use Control-Alt-Delete. I'm old. That was like how we reset the computer when we'd had it. We cannot go on further with what I'm trying to do to fix things that's not working. So I'm going to Control-Alt-Delete. And it'll just be a total clean slate. I think this is where so many of us get tripped up, because actually, I think culturally we treat January like it's this huge Control-Alt-Delete. But your nervous system does not work that way. And I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and I'm a friend, and I'm a business owner. And I can't just wake up January 1st and pretend that my body did not just carry months of responsibility and emotion and terrible sleep sometimes and big decision making. And I think that is especially true with 2025 as a year. We do not have to go and summarize what 2025 meant to so many people. It was the year of the snake, and there was a lot of shedding to be done. And my nervous system is still where it actually is. So I think from a somatic or me, even a neuroscience perspective, I think safety, regulation, capacity are built over time, not overnight, because it went from December 31st to January 1st. And when we pressure ourselves to reset, we actually create more stress in our body, not less.
I agree. And I think the principles and perspectives and even reframing that we're going to talk about today, it doesn't have to just be for the start of a new year, because it's often thought of, like you said, as a clean slate. Now, this is the year where I go crazy and do all of these things and make these ambitious goals for myself that actually aren't realistic. And, we want to make sure that our goals are challenging us and stretching us and imagining, okay, what if, and being that person. But we can't think of something unrealistic, and we have to take baby steps to move through this. So I love that a new year is representative of this shift, but it can be done on a Tuesday at 4:00. It can be done on a Friday. It doesn't matter, right? We're talking about this now. It's a wonderful opportunity, but you can choose to change at any time. And I love what you said, that you don't start at zero on January 1st. You're still that same person, but you're also shifting. So how can we take old you and shift you into new you without redesigning your whole life and flipping it upside down?
I really want people to hear that. I really want people to hear this. You don't start at zero. You start with all the experience you've gained. And Dr. Des, you and I are both 4-6 generators. I've been thinking about this so much. Really, since we went away on Christmas holidays, we went away to Maui, and I had a lot of time to read. And I read a lot about human design and being generators and 4-6 generators, and it's so cool that it means I'm also reading about you. So I think we have in common that our life has been about lived wisdom. And every season that we've had, whether it's been for you and I in business growth or through burnout we've both experienced or through healing we've both experienced, for me last year writing my book, that's just added layers of information to my system. And January 1st doesn't erase what worked and what didn't work or what my body and your body have already learned. So I
Mhm.
think I really want people to hear this. You're not behind, you're not broken, and you're not late. You are arriving with data, and that is so powerful. So we have to think about how we're going to use that data wherever that is and whatever that is for you. And it's probably very different from the other people close to you in your life, unless you're like me and you have another matched 4-6 generator in human design that you get to work with every day.
Yeah, I love that. It's a continuation. It's not this correction. It's not where everything goes out the window. You carry that wisdom. You carry
Yeah.
these patterns, and you're meant to support who you already are and make that shift. So number 1 is to really reframe what a new year
Hmm.
actually represents. It's just another day, but use that energy to carry you forward to be your best self.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important for us to talk about resolutions because there
Oh.
is a ton of energy around resolutions and why
Hmm.
they're so appealing and why we buy into them. It's kind of like clickbait in a
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Resolutions. And what do you what is your viewpoint on resolutions? Because I think there's so many different areas and ways we could go about this.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
I want to start by saying that there's nothing wrong with wanting hope. And I
Yeah.
think so much of the time a resolution comes from this hopefulness, especially after we've had a heavy year. And
Mhm.
that could be lots of years in the past for so many people. But again, I think a lot of people had a heavy year. And
Mhm.
hope is very regulating for us. It tells the nervous system that something better is possible. And I think as a mom, again, a business owner, a woman who has walked through health challenges for a lot of my life, I really get that desire deeply. I was that girl. But the problem isn't hope. It's when hope is disconnected from reality, from capacity, and from your body. So resolutions, they feel appealing because they offer structure in a time that for so many people feels really ungrounded. January comes after so much emotional intensity for us. We have the holidays, whatever you celebrate, which often come with financial stress for people, lots of family dynamics being together over the holidays,
Mhm.
and structure in our mind feels like this stabilizing opportunity for us. But structure that isn't aligned with your actual life or your energy or what season you're actually in, regardless of what the calendar says, becomes another source of pressure instead of support for you. So I just think that we have this hope that we're going to get control back. And when I say
Mm.
that word, I think of do you know the movie Days of Thunder with
Mhm.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman?
Mhm.
And she says to him in that movie, "Control is an illusion. Nobody knows what's going to happen next." She actually says, "Control is an illusion, you infantile egomaniac. Nobody knows what's going to happen next." So it's a big one. And
Mm.
when life feels unpredictable, resolutions give us this, like, I'm going to grip on to that. And
Mhm.
from a nervous system lens, control then feels like it's safety. If I do this, then everything will be okay. But forced control often backfires. I'm telling you this from experience. The
Mhm.
body doesn't relax when it is being managed that way. It relaxes when it feels understood. So I'm not saying no to resolutions. I just think it's important to be really clear on what you're actually looking for, the emotional promise behind that resolution. This year will be really different, feels really convincing to us. And the brain does love clear lines, right? It loves a before and after. It loves
Mhm.
a old me, new me. And when you combine that with exhaustion and dissatisfaction, we get this really powerful story like, I can leave this all behind. But
Mm.
I know that transformation doesn't actually work in sharp edges. It works in these authentic layers. It's
Mhm.
reality. It's reality for us.
It's the micro moments that add up. I
Mhm.
really like that perspective. I would say we're on the same wavelength with our relationship to resolutions. My favorite holiday, I think, yeah, I would a previous version of me would have said Christmas, but I think
Yeah.
a favorite holiday of mine is actually New Year's, and it's because I love reflection and I love the
Mhm.
practices that come with deep introspection, and I feel
Yeah.
like New Year's gives structure to that because I love the shape of a day. I love
Yes, you
structure.
do. Even as a grade 4 student, you love the shape of the day on the whiteboard at the front of the classroom.
Yeah, I love structure, but I think that's what a new year brings, but it doesn't have to be about resolutions and about this drastic change.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's change doesn't come and profound change doesn't come with sharp edges. It comes with these micro moments and these profound layers where you add on and continue the momentum of the wisdom that you had from the year before.
Yeah.
And it's cool because the collective mindset and energy around New
Yes.
Year's really amplifies that change because it's
Yes.
exciting when you feel the energy around you from other people who are also
Mhm.
moving towards the best version, the healthiest version of themselves. And it's cool to feel that energy and feel like
Yeah.
you are gliding towards that together.
Yeah, that collective energy piece is so apparent to me this year. It's intense. It's everywhere we look, right? Social media, all the wellness culture that we're immersed in all the time, the business culture. It's all saying the same thing. And I think there's how you and I feel about that, and we use that energy versus I think how other people might just hear the words optimize and fix and
Yeah.
improve and upgrade. But again, as generators, I think we are especially sensitive to collective feels. And when everybody is pushing forward, it's really easy to think that something's wrong if you're not.
Hmm.
So I think what you and I have in common is this alignment whispering while hype is shouting.
Hmm.
And we are meditators. And I think if you're quiet, you get to hear the whispers. And it feels really good when you're not trying to be part of something that doesn't belong to you. So, and I think that's why my meditations and my journaling have been so much longer these days.
Hmm.
It's that time to listen to the whispers and really try to ignore the hype. So if you're feeling pressured out there, try getting still at this
Hmm.
time of year to be part of the collective energy in a way that's right for you.
Yeah, tap into it to fuel you.
Yeah.
That's a really great reminder. I think it's important because with resolutions, we set these ambitious goals, we have these intentions for the year, but the reality is that most resolutions don't last. And
Yeah.
it's a particular time, within January when it people fail. And I
Yep.
think it's because the goals are almost too far outside of their comfort zone that their nervous
Yep.
system and body doesn't know how to operate. And,
Yep.
if we look at research on resolutions, studies and even surveys show that the majority of New Year's resolutions don't last, and only about 8% of people actually achieve their New Year's
Wow.
resolutions. That's a very
It's
small
sad,
amount.
but it tells us something.
Yeah, but it's so insightful because when you look at the data, they're citing that roughly 20 to 25% of people abandon their resolutions within the first week alone,
Yeah.
7 days. And
I've
then,
seen it. I've seen
yeah,
it.
I've seen it too. And then a large percentage drop off by mid to late January. And then it's often around the third week. And then
Mhm.
by February, most resolutions have been completely let go. And that often coincides with guilt and
Yes,
shame.
because did you know that, that period in there, that 3rd week is called Quitter's Week? I just read that
Mm,
yesterday. I'm like, "What a horrible thing to call it."
yeah.
I think people, they don't lose momentum because they're a quitter.
Hmm.
Um, or they don't it's not because they lack the desire, they really want to. I think they struggle because of overambitious goal setting at the start of the year and mental fatigue and decision overload when we aren't realistic with what we actually want, right? And for some people, it's that we lack the support and the reinforcement that's needed. And I think I'm so grateful that we have a great community around us to support I mean, what aren't we starting? We started a dance class together last week, friends, Dr. Desiree and I and a few friends. More fun is something. It's not this goal. I have to, achieve a certain weight or, do some big thing that's immeasurable, read this many books. It's more of an overall feeling that is great when you're not in isolation to be able to just say, I would like to add more fun to my life. I would
Mhm.
like to spend more time in silence without a measure having to be there. So I think we have so many people hooked on this comparison, which I don't know who quoted it, but somebody says comparison can be the thief of joy.
Mhm.
And that is so true at this time of year. So we really, I think, have to be thinking more about identity. And
Mhm.
it's good to put the habits into place now, but the more you start to follow a habit, the more you repeat it, the more you reinforce being the type of person that does that type of thing. So it's who do you want to be? So instead
Mhm.
of asking, what do I want to achieve? We can ask ourselves, who do I wish to become? And
Mhm.
then we let the actions that we're choosing at this time of year take us closer to that person.
I'm reminded as you're speaking, I'm reminded of this analogy that a soccer coach of mine, who I'm very fond of, he would share this analogy when he's talking about players coming to the team and learning a different style of of play and with skill and ball control and being able to
Yeah.
possess the ball. And he talks about players coming in and they have this canvas and they have all these paint
Uh,
colors and gunk on the canvas and it's all
yeah.
there and to become a better soccer player and become a better athlete and more skilled, right, you need to take off those layers. And that also struck me when I was recently reading chapter 12 of your book, where you talk
Oh,
about parenting and you said when, they hand you a baby, but they don't give you a manual and you have
yes.
so much to unlearn. And
Yes.
we can take that and apply it to New Year's as well.
Yeah.
There's so much to unlearn. Just like you said, who do you want to be? How do you want to
Yeah.
feel? And you're taking apart those layers and adding
Yeah.
in new ones and shifting.
And these studies and surveys, they're revealing something. The fact that
Yeah.
they consistently show that these resolutions don't last tells us something. And it's not that we're lazy as a humanity. It's not that we're undisciplined. It's not. And I remember being taught as a kid, it's all about willpower. But
Yeah.
I think it is because the way we're taught to change doesn't actually match how humans change. I'm a bit
Hmm.
of a fan of change and the
Yeah.
neuroscience of change,
Yeah.
but we aren't taught this. So when something fails at a population level, it cannot be an individual character flaw for us, right? It has to be a flawed approach. And I
Yeah.
think at Eversio, we get to see this because we have this wellness community out there. And the brain and the body don't sustain change through pressure and intensity. They sustain change through safety and repetition of new thoughts and relevance and emotional buy into something. And most resolutions are built on these like motivation spikes, not
Yeah.
on our nervous system capacity.
Hmm.
So I think if I'm being honest, I think January is for what is when most people have the least capacity.
Yeah.
And it's, physically, emotionally, hormonally, in our community, energetically. Again, we're coming off of so much disruption of routine and processing of emotions and less sunlight, which is why we go away somewhere warm. What did somebody just call it? They said my holiday was solar intervention. It's
Mm.
so true.
Yeah, that is
So I
true.
think we have to ask ourselves, is it right to suddenly ask ourselves to do more, to be better, and to operate at peak performance if that's not in alignment?
Hmm.
That's just going to lead us to resistance. So the research has to be, we have to look at it. We have to
Hmm.
look at it. And
Yeah.
I think they are it's it's this it's this resolution being based on who you think you should be, not
Hmm.
what your body is
Yeah.
responding yes to.
Yeah.
And when there's no true response to that question, then your energy is going to drop really fast and motivation won't matter anyway. So big intention, intense effort, nervous system overwhelm, inconsistency, self-blame. That's
Exactly.
this pattern we have to recognize. Can we stop saying resolutions because we see it doesn't work? Why do
Yeah.
we keep doing it to ourselves, right? So yeah, so where do we go? So when
Where do we go?
resolutions don't last, it's not failure, it's information. What do we do with it?
Totally. Okay, before we go into what sustainable change actually looks like, I think it's important for us to outline why resolutions fail and how we can
Yes.
reframe that, and then give some suggestions for sustainable change, what it
Yeah.
actually looks like, what you and I are doing, and we'll
Mhm.
explain that whole process so others can understand the context. But why resolutions fail?
Let's go.
Simply, they are too vague. I want to be healthier.
Mhm.
I want to be thinner. They're too extreme. I'm changing everything all at once. That used to be
Yep.
me. I'm going to do all these different things and I'm going to live in survival.
Yeah.
They're rooted in guilt instead of support. Like you said, I should be there. You're shaming yourself
Yeah.
and that's guilt,
Yeah.
self guilt.
Yeah. We don't change from shame.
We
We
do
do not.
not change from shame. Mic drop. Exactly. So, research on behavior change shows that willpower is finite.
Mhm.
Habits
Limited
stick.
resource.
Yeah, limited resource. Habits, they stick when we're supported by environment, by routine and regulation. You touched on this,
Yes.
having a community, having a supportive partner and friends, and creating that environment. And most resolutions ignore, like you said, nervous system capacity,
Yes.
seasonality, where it's low energy month, and the need for structure and accountability.
Absolutely. It's like how much can I actually hold right now?
Yeah.
Like that when you say nervous system capacity, we should ask ourselves that question every morning. Like what can I actually hold right now? And the seasonality piece of it, again, less light, more inward energy is like we talk about cyclical living so often and we should be thinking about more inward energy at this time, more integration time. And yet we treat it like it's launch season.
Yeah.
So that mismatch alone explains why so many resolutions fall apart, I think, right there. And as far as the need for this structure and accountability for us, I think ironically, while resolutions promise structure, they often lack real support systems for us.
Yeah.
So if you have no accountability, if you have no check-ins, if you have no adaptive framework, then it's just pure personal pressure. And I don't see that ever having worked for anyone that I know. So
Yeah.
there has to be the reframe. Tell
Uh-huh.
us, Dr. Des, what's the
Yeah.
reframe?
Yeah, totally. With a reframe, resolutions assume that motivation will stay high, life will cooperate, and stress won't interfere. Real life doesn't actually work that way. Sustainable change doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from being better
Mhm.
supported, like you mentioned. And it's not a personal problem why so many people are failing, it's really a systemic problem.
Yeah.
And so instead of asking, why can't I stick to this? A better question is what kind of support would actually make this sustainable? So I mentioned that I love structure. So I'm actually
Yeah.
going to tap into the energy, the collective energy of loving structure. That's why I love September because it's like
Yep.
back to school. I love
Yep.
getting everything organized and it feels like a new start of the year in a sense.
Yep.
So I lean into that. But then how can you create structure, whether it's an accountability group, meeting with friends to support yourself,
Mhm.
starting a new WhatsApp chat with your
Yes.
friends to talk about the things that you're working on and checking in once a month?
Yeah, and I think that's it. And when change actually lasts or has lasted for me, it's because it was simple. It's not flashy. It's not
Yeah.
this dramatic thing. It's just something that's actually doable. And as I mentioned, I've done a lot of healing in my life, in my body. And I've learned that if something requires constant mental effort, it's probably not going to stick. It can't be hard, right? Simplicity will lower resistance. Again, the nervous system loves that. So we have to think like, just, don't eat blank. Don't eat ultra processed food instead of, I have to lose this much weight.
Mhm.
Right? It's simplifying it down. When you make this goal this big thing with no support around you and you don't have the systems or processes or nervous system capacity to do that, you're failing at week 1. Those are those people. But if you turned it into just what's the little thing that would actually get me to that big goal, and don't even think about the big thing. Don't think about a goal. Just think about this little process. And that's you. Last year, you knew you wanted to feel better in a certain way. And how do you measure that? But you knew how you could get there. You said, don't eat sugar. And you did it for a year. And I think we need to think more like that. There are these simple things that will get us to the big piece of it. So real change, it shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel regulated. It should feel like I have a new structure, a new routine to follow. And the body should feel more stable, not more stressed because of it, more supported, not more controlled. So when something hypes, it fails. When
Mhm.
something helps regulate you, it becomes easier to return to, even on the hard days. And I think it's James Clear says it in his book Atomic Habits. You have to pick something you're actually going to be able to do even on the hard days, because you won't build a habit if you can't repeat it. So when we pick things that are these big, monstrous, difficult things, there's no way you're going to wake up on a bad day, and we're going to have bad days. We're going to have stress. All of that's going to happen. So keeping it simple, I like
Mhm.
that. It
Yeah.
has to be repeatable. It has to be
Yeah.
simple. You have to be able to put a system in place that works with it. And then you have to find some kind of support, whatever that is for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm grateful to have you for that.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to have you for that too. And it's nice because we're very aligned on a lot of those things. And while our intentions might be different for
Yeah.
our personal growth, we can share that and celebrate one
Yes.
another. We're currently, for January, we have a little not I wouldn't say competition, but a
Yeah.
challenge against
Oh, yeah.
ourselves, our Triple Crown challenge for January.
Explain it, because I love it. It's a great one.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, it was your idea. It's awesome. So we have our friends in a circle on the Aura Ring. So it's our little group, and we can see all of our stats for the day. And our challenge is that whoever gets a 3 crown day will get entered into a draw. So if you have 10 3 crown days, that's 10 entries into a draw. And then that way, what we're doing is even if you only get one 3 crown day, you're still entered into the draw and you still have a
Yes.
chance. And then what we're going to do is
Yes.
we're going to draw a name and see who the winner is for the challenge. And then we're going to have a big dinner. And then whoever wins doesn't have to cook. I wonder, did Brandi create this? That sounds like a Brandi thing.
Let's just be honest. I don't love to cook, so it's the best thing ever. I'm so gonna win this one, just so I don't have to cook. But I
Yeah.
get to. But I love.
You get to
I
pick
love
the theme.
connection, right?
Yeah.
Humans are wired for co-regulation. This is why we need support when we have challenges and things. And I think we change more easily when someone is reflecting back to us, back to ourselves. And
Yeah.
this is a challenge where we can do that all of the time. We're all on this together. And there's this great thing that we kind of all win,
Mhm.
because we all get to go to a dinner party at the end of the month. But one person is the real winner because they're not cooking or doing dishes. Don't
I-
forget that.
I think when I saw that, I was like, oh, well, I actually would love to bring something, even if I win. So I'll swap with you so that you don't have to do
Sounds
it.
good.
Yeah, but I'll
Sounds
pick
good.
the
Well,
theme.
I'm working hard, and if you don't wear an Aura ring and you don't know what we're talking about, each day there are 3 opportunities to receive a crown, which means you've reached a certain level. Is it over 85?
It's
A score of
85.
85?
Yeah.
So that's your sleep, which, hello, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't even thought about a New Year's intention or a plan, just sleep better.
Mhm.
Sleep more, sleep better. And that's one of the things we measure, is how well are we sleeping? What's the quality of our sleep? And then the other one is activity. Again, if you are someone that's thinking, oh, I just want to lose weight, forget that. Just say, I just want to move my body more. And then that will naturally happen for you. And for us, the activity score is another place to get a crown. And then the third one is this combination of all the things going on. It's heart rate variability and the amount of stress that you've gathered in your day. And
Mhm.
then we see that as a readiness score. So how ready are you to go and do that activity you want to do? And It's so eye-opening, and it brings me to the word that I chose this year,
Mm.
and I think Dr. Desiree got her first triple crown today. No one
Mhm.
There's 8 of us. There are 8 of us in this challenge, and nobody's had 3 crowns yet in January until this morning. Dr. Des got it. So she's
Mm.
figured out it's a balance. It's really balancing, and if you don't have an intention of how you're gonna live each day, of course, you could go and get the activity. Anyone could go out there and just run a marathon every day, and you'll get it. But I guarantee your readiness score will be in the toilet because no body is meant to just work all of the time and not have rest. So I'm excited to see what happens with that challenge. And we're also taking dance class, and we're also going to do some breath work.
Yeah.
And it's not loading things on. It's finding joy for us. What's going to bring us more joy this year and bring us closer to the people that we want to become. And I think we have a very clear picture of what that is. And
Mhm.
it's a great place to start.
Yeah, and one thing before we move on about the aura data, what I
Mm,
love about it is that it doesn't shift your scores to be awesome the next day. Like, oh, I'm
yes.
dehydrated, or oh, I haven't really moved my body. You need to like your body needs time to adjust. Like, oh, this
Hmm.
is my new normal. This is my new
Yeah.
baseline. It's the same with hydration. When you feel like your mouth is dry and you were dehydrated, it's going to take you a couple days to get back to baseline of feeling really hydrated and
Yep.
feeling good within your body. And that's the reality of change in general. It's
Yeah.
those small micro movements. You're not going to, if you want to move your body and feel joy, you're not going to feel maybe amazing or achieve what you want the first day. It
Yeah.
takes time, right? It
It
takes
does.
time.
And
Okay.
those little actions, they're so important. I
Yeah.
think, again, I can't remember who said it, but every action that you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to become. So
Mm,
if you can only do one push up today, it's don't not go to the workout.
yeah.
Do the one push up because that one push up is the vote for the type of person that doesn't miss a workout. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter what the workout looked like. You showed up and you did what you could do, and you're voting every time for that type of person you want to be. So nothing is too small when you set that little intention.
Absolutely. And speaking of intention
Mm.
versus the word resolution, and that is
Yes.
what we do for New Year's and for a new calendar year. Instead
Yeah.
of choosing a resolution, we choose an intention. And to choose an intention, we really think on what is a word for me or words
Yeah.
for me this year? Like, what is going to be the theme where I am in this process of becoming and this speaks to my soul? And
Yeah.
we go through and see a bunch of words and look through it. But really, the one that we choose is the one that resonates with us. So for us as generators, it lights us up and we just
Yeah.
feel this inner knowing like this is
This is
for
it.
sure it. But it's also letting go of outcome, right?
Yes.
And it's being.
Yes. Yes. Resolutions are always outcome based. That's how,
Yeah.
I don't know who invented them, but they are outcome based. Lose the weight, hit the number, achieve the thing. But intentions are process based. So
Hmm.
they care more about how you're living, not just what you're producing, being, like you said. And again, nervous system, process feels a lot safer than performance. So choosing a word is a guiding, it's an anchor instead of a goal. That's why I
Hmm.
love it. I love it.
Hmm. Yeah. So my word for this year is the word courage.
Ah,
My word for the year is courage.
tell us
And
about it. Why?
I think for me, I'm stepping into some new things this year and I feel it coming. And for me, one of my core values in how I operate day to day and how I live my life, one of the words is authenticity.
Mhm.
I strive to be my most authentic self in every scenario, whether I just met you, whether I don't know you, whether you're my best friend, no matter what. And being authentic in hard moments, difficult conversations, things where I maybe want to be avoidant, being my authentic self, telling the truth and being me. And that comes with warmth and kindness. And for me, that shows up with courage. It's those
Yeah.
moments where maybe you don't want to be authentic or you want to hide parts of yourself. You can still be authentic and not share all the layers of yourself. And so for
Yes.
me, it's courage to continue to show up, to put myself out there. I would say, more of an ambivert. So I think I'm introverted at heart. Craig says this. He's like, Brandi, I've used my words for the day. And
Yeah.
I for sure have said that too. I'm like, I think
Yeah.
I've used my words for the day. I think I just
Well
need to
done.
be, a little introverted. But when I'm with people that light me up like you, I can be extroverted and yap and say all of the
Yes.
words, and it doesn't
Yes. And
feel
make
like
us
it's
laugh.
draining. Yeah, and being silly. So for me, it's courage. That's what it
Love it.
is. And yeah.
I'm so excited to witness that. I think of you as a courageous person anyway, but what you're saying is so the truth, that we all have different personalities, and sometimes it's easier to not be who we are based on what we feel is expected of us. And I think I have seen so much maturity of your personality over the years that we've gotten to work together. And more courage is just going to be more awesomeness. That's really exciting. Cool. I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, my word is resilience. And I think that means something different to people. Like, I think so many people think it means like being tough. So I actually looked it up in the dictionary because I'm a nerd. And the dictionary definition is that resilience is the capacity to adapt, recover, and continue functioning in the face of stress, challenges, or adversity. And that's why I picked this word, because I'm so aware. I'm going to be 50 this year. There has not been a year in my life. I mean, I don't remember being a baby, but we always have stress. We always have challenges. We always have adversity as part of this beautiful experience of life. And it's not about how much stress you have or how many challenges you have. It's going to be the capacity you create to adapt and recover from them. This is why we love reishi. We own a company that offers people adaptogens for a reason, because resilience means something to this. So I want to be really clear about what that means for me, because resilience is not about pushing through or tolerating more. And you know me, that's not who I am. Resilience is about my ability to face those challenges, my ability to recover, and my ability to return to myself without abandoning my body in the process, which is how I behaved for decades. I've done a lot of healing work. Like I said, I've learned that life does not stop asking things of us ever. It's never going to. If you're waiting for that to happen, stop waiting. Resilience for me it's the capacity to stay responsive, not reactive. We're generators. That's our thing. We respond instead of just going into overdrive, which was old me, and to let challenges move through me instead of defining me. So I think in the past, I've actually chosen resilience before, but I didn't really think about what it meant. I thought it meant like, I got to be tougher. I got to show up. It was like survival for me, like white knuckle it, push through it, prove myself. This year, it's not that. This year, it's recovery. It's regulation, and it's going to be choosing support before I'm depleted, which happened to me. It happened to me in October this year. I took on a lot in 2025. So many people did. I wrote a book. I produced an audio book. I became certified almost. It's coming soon in a new capacity that I'll share soon. But I did a lot of training and a lot of neuroscience learning and stretched my brain. We launched products, and I still homeschooled, and it was too much for me. And ran a beautiful business. And there came a time in October that I had to turn to my closest friends and ask for support. And so grateful that they said, yes, we'll support you, get back to yourself. And I needed time to do that. This year, that's not going to happen, because resilience is my word. I'm going to just ask, is this thing I'm saying yes to going to strengthen me or drain me? Is this thing I'm going to say yes to giving something back? Or is it all just give, give, give? And will this thing allow me to recover, not just perform? And if the answer is no to those, it's not aligned, even if it looks good on paper, I'm out. That's me this year. So
I love
I'm going to
that.
support. Yeah. And I think I am in a great position to do it. I already feel it in January. Does everybody feel this energy? It can't be just me.
No, I feel it.
And we've touched on things, right? Simplifying systems. You talked about liking some structure. We're doing a lot of that in business, and we're doing it in our home. We need the system, but can we simplify them? Can we honor rest as productive? Say the words. Say it to yourself wherever you are out there, Eversio community. Rest is productive. I did not
Mhm.
believe that for most of my life. Now I know it is true. It isn't how much we can carry, it is how well we care for ourselves while carrying it. Below my mind. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm still gonna carry the things, but I am going to really make sure I'm caring for myself while carrying it, and I'm gonna ask for help sooner.
Mhm. That is a big piece of unlearning.
A
Unlearning
big
that hustle
piece.
culture and what society conditions us to think. That doesn't mean you're not ambitious. That doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
not a hard worker. That doesn't mean that you're gonna push yourself.
No.
That doesn't mean that you're gonna not take care of yourself. It's encompassing all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
gonna
love
support it
that.
with systems, with timelines that are realistic, and
Yeah.
with decisions that protect the people who are doing those things. It's not just about me. I'm a people person. I love our team. I love
Mhm.
my family. I love my friend group. And often my stress leads to being other people's stress. And that's not fair either. So I think yeah, it's things are going to look different this year. They're going to
Mhm.
look different. And if you're out there listening, your word doesn't need to be shiny or
Yeah.
aspirational. It needs to meet you where you actually are.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what word would help you really stay connected to yourself when
Yeah.
life asks more of you?
Yeah.
And I think I want to encourage our listeners to reflect on what word would feel supportive for them.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, I invite you to this gently. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Scrap that. And I want you to ask yourself, what would feel supportive to live inside of this year for you? And let your word be something that your nervous system exhales into, not
Mm.
something that your ego has to go and chase. It's all about
Mhm.
the exhale.
Totally. And what you had mentioned when you were describing your word in that process is asking yourself, what does this person who embodies this word do?
Hmm.
What are some of those actions? Right? It could be the
Yeah.
simplest thing. If you are saying, this year, my word is abundance. Last year, my word was abundance. And a lot
Yeah.
of people, similar to with your word, a lot of people think that it means monetary value. But for
Right.
me, it meant I am abundant. I have so much joy and life and love and health
Yeah.
and within me.
Yeah.
And if I am somebody that's abundant, what are the things that I'm going to do? I'm not holding on to lack,
Yeah.
and I am abundant.
Yeah. And
Use
what
the
did that
things.
draw to you? I watched you do it, and
Yeah.
you become a magnet
Yeah.
for the life that you want. When you exude abundance as you did, you brought so much abundance into your life
Mhm. Yeah.
in so many ways.
Yeah, in so many ways. So alignment often requires slowing down
Yeah.
and slowing down enough so that you can hear yourself.
Yeah.
That's what real alignment is. And
Yeah.
if you're somebody who's like, by the time you're listening to this, it's late in January or even February by the time you're listening to it, don't worry. You're not
Yeah.
behind. You're right on
No.
time. You could start at Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, so
I
don't.
love Tuesdays at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So January isn't a deadline. You didn't miss your
Right.
chance. It's okay if clarity comes later. And if you need to pivot, you can pivot. 2025 was the year of professional pivoting
Yes.
for us.
Yes.
We had to pivot a
100%.
lot.
Yeah, it's not a cutoff. Like, there's no test. Who's testing you, right? Who's setting that? It's not. That's not it. It is definitely not a measure of your worth.
Mm-hmm.
So many people with unworthiness, things to manage in their life. It's not a measure of a commitment to yourself. There is nothing magical about January 1st, people, that determines how your year is going to unfold. You did
Mm-hmm.
not miss it. And we have a very close friend who is an astrologer and gathered us all up together to work on some intentions, but actually not because it was January 1st, because there was a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So there can be many new beginnings as 2026 unfolds. And if you didn't set goals or pick a word or feel inspired this month, you did not miss it. Growth isn't something that you miss. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that you enter when your body's ready. And readiness does not follow a calendar. I'm going to say that again. Readiness, like on my ring, does not follow a calendar. My readiness score is so close, Dr. Des. I got a crown for my activity today. I got a crown for my sleep, and my readiness is like, I think I'm 4 points away from it.
You
And
got
that
it.
is because I'm actually practicing resilience, what I said. I am taking time to rest. I am slowing down. I am saying no to things. I am creating better systems.
Mm-hmm. And you're getting the reps in.
And getting the reps in, you have to repeat, you have to repeat. And I think that's, in the research that I did over the past year and looking at habits as part of neuroscience, we define habits differently there. We would say that a habit is something you do automatically, like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. You just have done it. You've repeated it so many times that you know how to do it without even thinking. It lives in the unconscious part of you. And I think we have to think of these habits. I mean, we use that word differently in different places. And when we're talking about the habits we want to create, we're really thinking more about systems and processes that we want to put in place to become the person we wish to be. We're never going to the gym is never going to be like brushing your teeth. So if you think it is, stop lying to yourself right now. Meditation is never going to be like tying your shoes. I meditate every single morning. I'm never going to miss, because I get something from it that is so empowering for me. And when you repeat it, you start to embody it. So it doesn't mean that I just wake up in the morning and my body automatically on autopilot puts on the mask and plugs in the guided meditation track. I have to make that decision every day because I love the outcome that comes for it. So I think be careful what you think you're building. You're going to make a decision today. It doesn't mean I'm just going to automatically do this for the rest of my life. You're going to decide every day that it's still in alignment for you, regardless of what the calendar says. So this year gets to be different. It gets to be different. You didn't fail last year. You're not the same person anymore.
Exactly. And not choosing to change is a choice. So change.
Still choosing.
It's still choosing. So choose something that's in alignment with you. Thanks, everyone, for listening to today's episode. This is something that we could talk about for hours. If you have chosen a word that's going to be your intention for the year, send it to us. Let us know. We would love to hear. This year,
comment right here below on this podcast. Tell us your word. We want to connect with you. We want to hear what's happening in our community so that we can support you. And we love how you support us too. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, do it, because it helps us bring more things like this to more people. And the more of us on this planet living consciously will help to grow the collective consciousness that we all want to live within. So tell us what you're up to in 2026. We're so excited for you, and we're sending you so much love.
Sending you so much love. Be well, everyone. See you next time.
We hope that you learned something new here today. If anyone you know could benefit from what we shared in this episode, please share it with them. And if you're interested in adding mushrooms to your life, then you can use code PODCAST15 to save 15% on your entire order at EversioWellness.com.
If you haven't yet left us a rating and review, subscribed to this podcast, or followed our social media accounts listed in the show notes, we would so appreciate that. And if you're not sure where to start, you can take our Mushroom Wellness Quiz. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. Until next time, be well.